this thing is embarrassingly luxurious. It's like I would never want to take this thing four-wheeling. I don't know if I had the money to take it four-wheeling, maybe, who knows. I don't know if the sheiks in Dubai are taking this specific truck four-wheeling. I know they buy a lot of Land Cruisers and a lot of LXs. I think it's the #1 market for Land Cruisers in the Middle East. But just looking around this thing, the cabin, the exterior, I would be afraid to drive it down a gravel road, actually. And with a base price of 89,000 bucks, man, you'd be better served buying this and then some sort of Jeep or maybe an old school Land Cruiser to kind of beat up. But would you rather have the LX or the Land Cruiser? I mean, the Land Cruiser at this point, they're about the same money. I think the Land Cruiser base price is 84 or 85K. So when you're talking about 5K at this range, near $100,000, it's a negligible difference. And what's interesting is, Lexus sold a lot more LXs than Land Cruiser did last year, than Toyota sold Land Cruisers. And the Lexus outsold the Toyota at almost a 2-to-1 rate. Now, they don't sell many of these. I think 2,800 or 3,000 last year. But I think people that are spending 100,000 bucks go for the Lexus because they have a tough time saying that they spent $100,000 on a Toyota. But then if you talk to a Land Cruiser person, you know, nobody ever dislikes their Land Cruiser. I've probably owned 15 or 20 of them at this point. You know, full disclosure, I'm a total geek for these. I love this truck. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's got a build quality and a solid feel that no other truck has. No Escalade, no Range Rover, nothing else in this class feels as vault-like as this thing. And I did call it embarrassingly luxurious. It's just, for me, I would go with the Land Cruiser. I think the interior being a little more sedate. It looks a little bit nicer, and the exterior styling is way more toned down in the Land Cruiser, and I really appreciate that. Even though they're the same money, I just think a lot of people have a hard time paying 100K and not getting the full zoot for their 100K, you know what I mean? And definitely they're not buying an off-roader, even though it is one of the most capable SUVs ever made on the planet. And I'm telling you what, when you drive one of these, I've driven the redesigned or revised 2016 Land Cruiser. It's my first time in the LX. I can't really tell a difference in ride. This one has a hydraulic suspension that the Land Cruiser doesn't have. And they both ride fairly soft. They both have really heavy steering. And they both feel a little bit down on power at this point. Again, 383 horsepower. Let me smash on this thing. Yeah, it's pretty slow, man. It's I don't know what the 0 to 60 is. It might be like 8 seconds or 9 seconds. It's, you know, again, 3 tons, over 3 tons, but I think it's overkill, and I would definitely buy the Land Cruiser instead. They did just revise these 2016. They finally got with the program and gave them an 8-speed transmission, which was very welcome from the ancient 6-speed. Actually, mine has a 4-speed. The 6-speed was an upgrade in like 2004. But very smooth shifting. You don't feel it shift. Definitely a welcome addition, because I've driven a lot of 200 series with the 6-speed, and the 8-speed was very, very welcome. EPA rated at 13, 18, 13 city, 18 highway. These are gas destroyers. There's no way around it. Every Land Cruiser ever since the FJ40, just, I mean, there's really no way around it. Mine gets about 13, 14 miles a gallon, whether I'm in the city or on the highway. I've got a friend of mine who has a 200 series. He's about the same, 14, 15, something like that. They did gain 1 mpg going to the 8-speed transmission, although just, you know, I don't know that you're going to eke out 20 on the highway, whatever. Don't expect any sort of decent fuel economy in this thing. It is a 6,200 pound car, and it's very, very inefficient. Interior wise, very well put together. Materials feel great. I love the driver's seat. It's one of the most comfortable driver's seats I've ever been in. I was a little disappointed with the rear legroom though, sitting behind myself. I'm 6'1". I have the seat adjusted the way I want it, and I went ahead and sat behind myself, and it was a little tight, man. It's got these gigantic TVs in the headrest, which was an option, and finally available with a power fold-up third row. The Land Cruiser's always, if you're not familiar with a Land Cruiser or an LX, they've always had a third row that folded up towards the side windows. They never actually folded flat into the floor like a lot of cars do now. So it doesn't have a huge amount of cargo space, but at least they're power now, which is great. And like with any $100,000 vehicles these days, surround camera, adaptive cruise control, blind side assist, collision warning. It's got the Lexus app suite, you know, full of technology, heated and cooled front seats. Actually, in the Lexus versus the Land Cruiser, you can get heated and cooled rear seats. So if your kids are really, really spoiled, then they can have cooled seats also. Might be a reason you buy the LX instead of the Land Cruiser, I don't know. It's got this 12-inch display, which is awesome. It's crisp, it's clear, it's got great cameras, surround cameras, backup cameras. It's got a top view camera, which a lot of cars have now. Love the top view cams, make parking a breeze. But I don't appreciate the mouse controls. If I had to criticize Lexus for two things right now, it would be their silly little mouse control thing right here, and the corporate grille. It's too bulbous, man. It's a little crazy, and maybe it'll grow on me. It has been out for some time now, so, and it hasn't really, you know, I haven't fallen in love with it yet. I definitely like the looks of the more sedate Land Cruiser better. But all trash talking aside, would I be proud to own one of these? I mean, you really feel like the boss in this truck, man. You feel like a badass. I mean, honestly, you have to go out and drive one. You know, it's funny, like I said, people that drive Land Cruisers and LXs, if you ask them if they like it, they never say, yeah, I like it. They always say, I love it. Oh, are you gonna sell it? Never. And it's just that type of car. And they're usually on their second or third one or fourth one. You really got to drive one of these to understand. So before you go reading the magazines and kind of read what the automotive journalists are saying, yeah, it's slower than this truck, yeah, it gets poor fuel economy, all of that stuff aside, these are amazing, and they are worth $100,000. They really are. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think. LX versus Land Cruiser, Toyota versus Lexus. Like, which one would you buy? They're the same price essentially, right? Put a couple of options on an 89K base price and it's 100 grand. Toyota's 85K, put a couple of options on it, it's 95K. What's 5% at that point? Negligible difference, not even a big deal. So which one would you get? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.